And welcome back to another edition of Toon Talk TV, the number one animated podcast on YouTube. I am your host, Mick, as always, joined with my buddies, Bob and Fren. And today, we have a spicy little tune for you. If you're new to the channel, be sure and like, follow, and subscribe. And be sure and check out that Patreon page. We are at patreon.com/we are the television.
You don't sound too well though, Mick. How you doing?
Mick's a little under the weather, dude. Little mouse cold is what's going around in the.
Is that a cold or do you have the COVID?
Oh, I don't know about that. That's how rumors are spread, dude.
No.
Oh, God.
He has it. Oh,
Hit up the
he
mouse
ate a bat.
forums.
He ate
The
a
mouse
bat.
forums, dude. The mouse forums.
Just stay away from this guy.
But no, getting into this tune. So, Bob, you selected this one, so I'll let you do the. I'll let you take it from here.
So I selected this one. This is an older one. We usually don't go with this old of picks, but this is a short that inspired Scavengers' Reign on HBO Max, and it recently finished its first season, and it was amazing. I thought it was quite an animation, and this is the short that sparked it and inspired that whole animation. And surprisingly, it's not far from what you see. It's equally as good. It's got its own kind of premise, and it's not a repeat. They didn't repeat this for the first season. It's kind of its own special little short that feels like it could exist in the same world. It's called Scavengers, created by Joseph Bennett and Charles Huettner. Also, who stayed creators of the show, obviously added a bigger crew to make season one. There was a few differences, a lot of similarities, and a few major differences in this short from season one. One of the big ones, well, I want to ask you guys, did you guys notice any massive difference with the sound? I don't want to go too farther into it, but with the sound.
Fred, I'll let you go.
Well, what's funny is I didn't, but I did notice one big difference for me, and it was in the character design. So I'd like to. So let's talk about you first, and then if we want, we could talk about the characters.
There was no dialogue in this short.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and it didn't need it at all. I honestly think it actually elevated it that there was no dialogue. I feel like it made it a little more universal without putting any talking between them.
So I heard an interview with them. It's we can link it in the description. It was an interview with the Joe Bennett and a few of the other directors and producers, and they originally pitched this as a no dialogue show, and eventually through like the creation of it, they were like, all right, I guess we need dialogue. But it would have been pretty cool if they had no dialogue throughout the entire time.
Primal style.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think I heard that same interview, and some of the things that I think Joe was saying these things about it, and it sounded like it was kind of a stake in his heart to kind of let that go, that there was going to be dialogue in it. But I think he understood that, I mean, how many episodes? 13, 12 episodes of 45 minutes. That's a lot of time for no dialogue. I mean, that would be quite a feat. And I think that's just probably a difficulty that they realized, like, how can we keep this interesting for so long? Another point that I thought was so cool is that a huge inspiration for this was like ASMR videos. Wouldn't you say that there was a very calming effect? Yeah. Joseph Bennett said that.
There was.
It felt calm. It wasn't like your usual aliens jumping out and freaking out in horror. It was equally calm and inviting, the animation. Fred, continue on.
Yeah, I think that comes with the territory of showing wildlife, like in nature, and it becomes just 10 times crazier when it's alien nature and alien wildlife, because you have no idea what's going on. And another thing I really liked about this take is that it didn't really show, at least in the beginning, the pilot episode, it didn't really show you like them discovering this wildlife. It was like that they already discovered it and now they're using it for their own survival skills, like finding using that one creature to fly, or using another creature to have a light, or like to call out something. And I generally feel like I don't see that. It's more like if you're going onto a alien planet, you're learning and discovering this with the audience.
I think that was a good way without having dialogue. They were able to show that they had been there for a very long time. Like, how do you don't just there's no manual for that stuff. You got to figure that out. I mean, would you guys ever on in the weird case scenario where you were stranded on a new planet, would you ever cut open a creature and start playing around with the guts to see what happened?
Fuck no.
Exactly.
No.
And
If
honestly,
Luke
that was,
Skywalker can do it, I could do it too.
He did do that. That was kind of ripped from Luke
Actually,
Skywalker when he fucking
whoa.
opened the. Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, I feel like you wouldn't even do that on Earth. Like, who thinks of doing stuff
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah. The outside of the box thinking on this show is by far some of the best that I've ever seen in a cartoon or live action show in general. Like it there's a level of creativity where you're like, okay, let's draw something where the guy cuts open this thing, we crawl inside, he pulls some little gadgets, it makes a little seed, we go and we take that seed and we turn that into a bomb, only to hunt this fish that we're using its insides to make droplets of water. Like something like that. I wish I would have seen this short before the actual
Sure.
show, of course. Obviously.
I agree.
But it also didn't take me out of the world. Sometimes you watch little shorts that inspire something and it's sometimes completely different, or maybe it's not all the way done. It's just an animatic or something. But like you said, this could have just been a prequel to Scavengers Reign, and it would have just flowed right into this world. It was great.
So there is this short that we're talking about is on Charles Huettner's YouTube. But then the other co-creator, Joe Bennett, he has another series that Adult Swim just recently bought, and the producers of it are Greg Daniels and Mike Judge, King of the Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's called.
That sounds good.
So it's called Common Side Effects, and it's supposedly going to be about like pharmaceutical companies are like trying to not let the world know about this mushroom that is a cure-all for like all diseases and everything. So, and it's supposed to go deep in like how the government is like hiding this shit and stuff. But they came out with a just one image, and the characters looked very similar to what they looked like in this short, Scavengers. It kind of lost some of that cartoony feel in the character design in Scavengers Reign. Did you guys you notice
a little
that?
more strip back and like
Yeah.
I think that was another thing that they talked about in that interview that I recently brought up, that it's just like some things, if you have a character design, but you don't have a character Bible where like, okay, draw the eyes exactly like this, or draw this style exactly like this. Some of those features just get lost in production, which is just like, which is a downside to having a giant team, based on like having a small team, or if it's just two people, you could be like, hey, no, draw it like this. And it gets corrected immediately.
I agree. And but I think you got to weigh what you get out of it versus what you lost. And
Sure.
I think when you have a massive team, certain things just can't get passed to everybody. But I think the overall good of the project is it's worth it because like now you get little aspects of other artists, and even though it may not be what the main creator had in mind at the start, the trade-off is totally worth it in my eyes.
Well, yeah, and the trade-off was pretty cool too, because the animation director, it might have just been the director or the animation director, but the director of this, Benji Brook, he also was the animation director for Kill Team Kill on
Nice.
on Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So you could kind of see the mutation of those styles.
Yeah.
They looked very similar. I'm hearing that that Kill Team Kill just keeps popping up with like I know we've mentioned it a few times.
It's a
It's
circle of
Titmouse.
people.
It's Titmouse.
All right.
It's yeah.
So this premiered on Adult Swim in the Toonami block in 2016. I thought so. Hearing Joe Bennett talk about it, I found it interesting that him and Charles were just putting out shorts on their YouTube channel and got this opportunity from Adult Swim actually reaching out to them and saying, we want to create this Scavengers. And then from that,
Nice.
it appeared that it didn't get much traction, but it sounded like they were kind of okay with that because they were able to take that time to scale back and develop this idea a little bit more and then bring it to HBO. And it seems to be working
7
out
years
with them.
later, man.
Right? Because I assume this will get picked up for a second season.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Isn't Max and Adult Swim kind of the same thing anyway? Aren't they owned by the same people?
Right. Oh yeah.
Warner
So
Brothers?
well, I mean, yeah, they accumulated that branch, but yeah, you're right.
What else we got, Bob?
I don't know. So how long do you guys think that this took from start to finish? Take a guess.
This short or the
Oh.
season? This short, start to finish?
No, actually, let's
a
talk
year.
about season 1 of Scavengers Reign. How long do you guys think that took?
3 years at least. Minimum.
4
Fred?
years? I'll guess 4.
4 years. Well, okay, so they said it took it was an 80-week schedule from writer's room to finish. So 80
How
weeks.
long is that?
I don't know.
There's 56 weeks in a year.
2 years?
2 years. I thought that
Right
was
around.
pretty. I thought that was pretty short for what we got out of it. I felt like that was a lot going on for just 2-year project.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, if you have enough money, you can get a bigger crew. So, I mean, I think
If you have the courtesan, you could do anything, Fred.
true.
But yes, if you have money, you could do it too. That's true too. Yeah. Having money actually does it faster. for
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
We need some money. Huh?
But the short, do you have any notes on the short, Bob? How long it took them to do that short?
I don't. I'm not really sure about that one. I know it was much more scaled down and more of a small production with just. I think it was definitely a shorter crew, but mainly Charles Huettner and Joseph Bennett were the ones that had their hands on that one. Did you guys notice that? I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. The shape at the end when they found that poop that they stuck their head in to basically get that high. The alien poop. You guys know what I'm talking about, but the little the like star thing inside it. Did you guys realize that is what they used to start the whole process off? Thought that was kind of cool. Like for when they get the first animal to come out and piss on the.
Yeah.
I thought there was a lot of small
cool.
tie-ins that they did in this that was just like,
The,
how long have you guys been thinking
the
about
little
this?
frog thing? Yeah, the little frog thing when they sliced it open and there was like a little frog inside.
Yeah.
That looked like the big monster of season 1.
You're talking about. So I want to talk about that for a sec. That's one key point that they literally they obviously thought that was really cool and decided to upgrade it and put it in the season 1. Because when you're talking about,
Yeah,
when they're
that
in
little creature that
forest.
lives for 5 seconds
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Lives
such
for
a
5
great
seconds.
idea.
Yeah.
That's such
and then
a
does
cool
a little
idea.
like
One little thing, and it basically fertilizes this thing to keep going. That's crazy.
and
yeah.
then dies. I'm just surprised that there's not more things trying to kill them on this planet. Seems like everything's a helpful thing, and
Yeah.
there's not very many things trying to actually kill them.
Well, I think that they realized that and changed it in the season 1 opposed to the
Yeah.
short, because the short, it did seem like you guys are thriving pretty hard on this planet. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
that's gonna kick your ass for a sec. Like what the hell?
Yeah. I'm excited to see where they take season 2, and we're going to do a whole video on this, so we won't get too deep into that. But as for this short, final thoughts, boys.
Work of art. I liked it.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, as far as like visual creativity goes, this was amazing to me.
It's up there. It's up there just from a writing standpoint, even though there's no dialogue. Like they still had to write the story to see what it goes. So it was great. We'll link it down in the description. Anyhow, thanks for watching Toon Talk TV. Be sure and like, follow, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/wearethetelevision. And go buy a mug. Sweet mug. Go buy one. And be thankful.
We are the television.